We all have something to share. No share with Dr. Dave.
Here we go. Michael, thank you for supporting um, this project of getting this the Living Water album out and
Of course.
providing your feedback.
Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah. So why don't you just give us a brief overview of your background as an audio engineer? Because I know I see you every Saturday, so you
Right.
know.
I started back in 2020, just me and my friend trying to record stuff at home, and we released a couple things, and we just kind of found out that I was a little bit better at mixing it. So I kind of focused on that. I really dove into that, watching everything I could on YouTube, reading a lot of stuff to try and learn how to do that right. And then it
Mhm.
kind of fell to the wayside for a long time, until I started back in college, where I got into the School of Music recording studio. I helped out there for a couple months, and then I started at the Gathering. So I've been doing the live sound mixing there, as you know, and I've also been starting to record the band each week and trying to take that home, mix it, and try and make it work.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's good experience.
Yeah.
So, one of the songs that you spent a lot of time on with me is called Trust in the Lord. So, how did you help me, with balancing the vocals so they feel supported rather than them fighting, the mix itself?
So one of the things that I liked in the original mix that you had sent me was at that end section, the balance was so good, and I think when I was listening to it, I think one of the things that made it sound good was that the vocals sat kind of in their own auditory space. They were centered very nicely. The instruments were kind of panned out to the sides, which then allowed her to cut right through. So I know when we were at your apartment and we were listening to it, one of the things that we had talked about a little bit was trying to find a way that we could either get some reverb on it, get it panned a little bit differently so that one, the lead vocals and the background vocals weren't fighting each other. And then on just the verses without the background vocals, the lead vocals could still sit in the middle, cut right through, and not be actually, especially with the guitar sitting in that same frequency range, just
Yeah.
trying to make sure that the vocals were just sitting slightly on top of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that came up was we had some of the background vocals were being cut off. I didn't even hear
Oh
that. That
yeah.
was really important stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one section where it was like trust him, where they were
Yes.
saying that,
Yes.
and the TR at the beginning was kind of cut off. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
yeah, what was as a person responsible, I call you the final quality check.
Right.
What were you listening for in terms of like a digital sheen? Because sometimes, since a lot of stuff is done digitally now,
Hmm.
sometimes it has the sheen. So, what were you listening for?
Well, so actually in the School of Music recording studio, they do most of their stuff analog.
Hmm.
So one of the things that Wiley Ross, who leads that studio, was talking about was that when you're mixing stuff just digitally, you really do want to take advantage of all of the tools that you can use just digitally that analog kind of limits you against. And I think I when I was listening to it myself, I was wondering what was being done because I could, in a way that you don't really get with analog, all of the parts were all of the different instruments, I mean, were very clear and different. It didn't sound muddled together. And
Yeah.
so when I finally was at your apartment mixing it with you, that mastering plugin was just good. I really like that. You can tell that it's just that separation, that clarity between each part, the vocals and the guitar and the bass, of course. Uh, I think that's something that you could really only get with that digital mixing process. So honestly, I have to say, whatever I was listening for, I already heard because it was already there through that plugin. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. Because one of the other thing that that I was expecting for is that the song sounded consistently, whether you were listening it through your headphones in your car, in your space. You know, when checking the master for "Trust in the Lord," were the lyrics clear across all those listening environments to you?
At, in the first mix, not so much, but that was part of the feedback that we had talked about and then
Yeah,
we worked on at your apartment.
yeah,
And in that final mix you sent me, absolutely. Um, So listening, so I listened to it on my little, little dinky little Bluetooth headphones, my phone speaker, and then my car. And especially in the car because that's just gonna have a much better bass response than
yeah,
those tiny little drivers in the headphones. Uh, I want to make sure that the bass wasn't overpowering it, and it wasn't. I compared the first and the last one. In the first one, it kind of was, but in that last one, the bass was able to back off just a little bit. Some of the low mid frequencies in the guitar, especially with the distortion on it, were able to back off a little bit. So then she was still able to be heard throughout the whole song in a way that was really, really good, especially that last section before the acoustic part with
yeah.
everyone in there. That just sounds amazing. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I needed fresh ears and someone who actually understood what was going on to help me get out of that model because, yeah, that was to me, that was a complicated song to mix and
Yeah,
master. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So, you get sometimes that when you get to that finishing point, you shift from fixing to feeling. Um, you know, when you were doing the final review of Trust in the Lord, what was the specific moment in this song when you thought, okay, the balance is perfect, this is ready to be shared?
So actually, just earlier today, I was going on an errand and I was playing it in the car just so I could be in the right headspace to talk about it now, this
Mm,
afternoon. And there was a point where so I have it downloaded, I have it put into my Spotify playlist,
yeah.
just the MP3, and I realized as Trust in the Lord was ending and it transferred over, yeah, the next song was Trust in God. I think
Hmm.
that's Cody Carnes.
Yeah,
I
that's Cody.
realized, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't even sound like an amateur recording transferring to a professional one. It just sounded like two good songs in
Yeah.
line. And at that point, I was like, yeah, that's good. That's really, really good.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
We were able to accomplish that because this is a we thing. That we were able to put that together and uh, you know yeah, because nowadays, when you think about it, whether you're in a big studio or you're in a home studio, if you have good quality gear, right,
Hmm.
plugins and stuff like that, you're gonna make good music, right? Well,
Yeah.
good sounding music, I should say. It doesn't necessarily have to be good, but you have good sounding music that
Yeah.
is beneficial.
I'm lucky that I was able to grow up in a time where anyone can do stuff like this in their home. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember the days when that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, any final comments you would like to make or share for other future engineers? Maybe we may have a few coming up in, the gathering at Tucson in our
Hmm.
church. Anything you would like to tell them?
Uh, One thing that I would say is sometimes the best thing to do is to understand exactly what is wanted from the particular song you're working on. There's ground rules, there's guidelines, there's best practices, but all of those come second to what sounds good for the particular thing that you're listening to at the moment. And if you find out that, oh no, I'm breaking this rule, or oh no, I'm breaking that rule, but my head's still bobbing and my feet's still tapping, focus on that rather than just trying to stick to the book, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feel, right? Feel
Yeah,
is also
feel,
important, right?
feel. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, good. Hey, Michael, thank you so much for supporting this project and
of course.
lending your voice. I wish I had your face, but I'll take your voice. That's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you for having me on.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Be joyful always.
We all have something to share. No share with Dr. Day.